All right, hello and welcome to the Matcherino Cup. This is, of course, I guess what we're going to dub as the Sunday Cup, as we've been doing on Sundays, and it's been working out pretty damn well. In the bottom left side to kick off the cast, he comes from Korea, but he plays in just about every European event we throw. It's going to be the blue Terran TANGTANG.
In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is ShoWTimE.
Did you see the Ting thread about TANGTANG, actually?
Yes, I did.
Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah,
Yep.
ah. Alright, so TANGTANG, we'll see how he does. ShoWTimE, I'm actually expecting to win this one. ShoWTimE has just been brutal and a beast, and a really good Protoss for a very long time. I can't tell you exactly what his plans are, because TANGTANG has not exactly been playing amazing, but he's really going to have to pull out all the tricks to beat somebody like ShoWTimE.
Yeah, TANGTANG's like a solid Terran, but yeah, you hear the words Korean Terran usually.
Is this all Tang out of Tang?
What?
10 out of 10? No? Okay.
Oh,
I'm aware that one was reaching.
Yeah, it was. I thought maybe there was like an astronaut joke in there about Tang. I don't know.
Oh my god, who's even referenced Tang in the last like 10 years, right? Like, wow.
When they talk about astronauts, they reference it. Like, I don't know.
Yo, I bet you, I'll bet you $10 here on stream. If we go to if we go to NASA or whatever while we're in Texas, I don't think they bring up Tang a single time unless we ask directly about it.
No, they will. Because basically, like,
I'm just saying. $10.
They will, though. Like, I have a space center that's right near me, the Udvar-Hazy Space Center, and they mention, like, what the astronauts ate and drank, and, like, what was the first, like...
So you're saying is you'll take that bet, then?
Sure.
Okay, great.
How much?
By the way, shoutouts to Kalari. I said $10.
Okay.
Kalari Shatal, 13-month resub, and I think I finally said the name right.
Larry Chatal.
I'm hoping.
You did. Congratulations.
Shandith also resubbed, and for some reason isn't showing up on the overlay, but thank you so much to you as well, and anyone else that may have subbed before the stream got started. Now, of course, for the Matcherino Cup, I guess to briefly go over it, Matcherino.com is a website where you can do crowdfunding for tournaments, and I really like it. It started off with the idea of just doing show matches, but they've really evolved it, and us being able to use it to host a weekly cup, I think is awesome. They sometimes will provide us codes. Today's code is BTTV5, typed exactly like this. Oops, that's a 4, not a 5. And that will generate $1 to go to the prize pool. But the cool thing about it that some of you may not know is you can use this yourself. You don't have to be an organizer or a big anything. You could create a page yourself, convince 2 friends to play, and have, I don't know, your brothers and sisters donate cash, for all I know. But the point of it is, it's not exclusive to, like, organizers and events or anything. It's anyone can use it, and I guess that $1 that they give you to donate to the prize pool is their way of saying thank you for learning about Matcherino.
Who would get their brothers and sisters to donate?
I would. Are you kidding me? What? Dude,
But
when
you're
we started...
not even close with your sister.
I'm not, but when I started BaseTradeTV, I was telling my brothers and sisters to fucking tune in. Are you kidding me? When we had like 10 viewers?
Nope.
Well, you know what, Son? This is why BaseTradeTV took off, because I know how to beg, I guess.
Your brothers and sisters. Like, I
Well,
asked, like,
it's
my
brother
friends in
and
StarCraft.
sister. Let's not elaborate too much here.
Whatever, but, like, I asked my friends in StarCraft, or, like, my real life friends, but my brothers? Like, that's weird. Anyway. So a Wood of Mine drop is not surprising to see at all, of course, in a PvT. It's a Phoenix
nice pickup.
opener.
Nice pickup.
To deal with the first Wood of Mine, but the second one's still gonna try to do something. Nope, not gonna happen. Awkward.
Yeah, this might get a kill. Maybe. It's not actually that big of a threat at all.
No, I'm just hoping to catch a transfer or a rally of a Phoenix, something like that. But as long as I'm gonna make it all alive, that's actually pretty good, considering that TANGTANG had to deal with Phoenixes. So, really, I feel like that should have been chased a little bit more. But I guess he wants to keep those at home initially. Alrighty then.
Well, not a problem that he keeps them at home, keeping it safe. For ShoWTimE, though, what I am curious about, though, is what direction this goes, because we see a Twilight Council coming down pretty quick, and this might just be for standard stuff. You get the upgrades, you get the Templar eventually, but I don't know. We've seen DTs kind of wrecking everybody's faces of late. The one thing I guess I would mention is there's no Robo, so I can't exactly see this going towards a fast Dark Shrine, but just to note that we have seen far too many people, too many good folks die to DTs lately.
Hey, there's a Robo.
Oh, is there? Oh, you're right. Excuse me, I missed it while we were looking around. It's okay. So
Yeah.
you might be able to get a Warp Prism and throw that down. And I take that back. Doesn't eliminate the possibility, but for the most part, I don't know. DTs are annoying, but also kind of clutch.
Yeah. I mean, I always agree that DTs are flipping annoying, and I mean, I think they can always find some use with them, but not gonna happen with ShoWTimE. It was actually going for President Glaive's armor over weapons, and of course, just harassing a little tiny little bit with these Phoenixes. Only 3 Phoenix is really. It really does feel like, okay, I really wanted these to stop like an early drop, and they did that. So okay, be done with you. Even though they just got a mule, that's still pretty good harassment. Of course, having to deal with this push, it does have stim and combat shields, but there's Photon Overcharge with a couple of adepts. Yeah, that should be a perfect amount.
+1, nowhere close to completion, but that's okay. +1 armor is not exactly close to finishing super fast for ShoWTimE either. I do kind of, Terran players have kind of gotten away from Widow Mines inside of like the openings and drops. And we started seeing things like siege tanks and those marine pushes coming back. I wonder if at any point we're going to actually see Charge Lot Storm recycle itself back into the meta. Or if the fear of Widow Mines is just so great that you just stay away from it no matter what always.
Once in a blue moon, back in Heart of the Swarm, you would see someone charge out Archon all in. And yeah, like the Terran may have like 2 or 4 Widow Mines, but not nearly enough. But if they ever learned of that's like the intention, they would just build a lot of Widow Mines. So I don't know. It'd be really tricky to convince the Terran that long that you don't have to build Widow Mines, I suppose. Or just hope that the Terran doesn't remember that Widow Mines exist if they're going to go for Liberators. I don't know. And that's actually what TANGTANG's doing, by the way, getting a couple of Liberators with this push. So he still doesn't have a 3rd CC to go for 5 barracks first. So seeing this actually is a little bit interesting. It's not like the macro game you would usually see on Dusk Towers, where you, of course, eventually you would see Liberators. But it is just something that is going to, I think it's just going to try and contain ShoWTimE.
We've mentioned it in recent casts, though, but Terrans have really been heading more and more towards these all-in styles of play. Just lifting the command center over here to your 3rd later and using that to expand. I mean, I'm not a super fan of it because I've never really enjoyed playing the all-in style myself. Turtle or die trying, right? But I don't know. It's becoming more and more common in the Korean scene. We saw Drunken Boy and Masa doing it, versus Protoss explicitly, of course. And I don't think it's something that's too terrible, but we'll see. Because if ShoWTimE holds one good push, then that's kind of almost the victory right there.
Yeah, I agree. But it's going to be difficult with the Liberator count. And especially to specifically abuse this ramp, even though it's not exactly a choke, but it is still a ramp. And I don't know if it's enough, though. I gotta imagine this 2-base attack from TANGTANG has been used before by him, and it's worked very effectively. But, I feel like it is just that close to being broken. And ShoWTimE's actually getting cannons here to try and stop the advancement.
I really like the cannons actually quite a bit. Not so much for the Marines, but this means the Liberators can't just fly in willy-nilly. They're the one thing that the Liberators will not be able to focus down, despite their tremendous damage. ShoWTimE playing it very safe, though. He's on hold position with a lot of his units. He doesn't want to be dragged and baited into those Liberator shots. Despite the Stargate opening, though, we don't really have a lot in the air. There's about 4 Phoenix by my count, so they might be able to try and swoop in and help a bit, but ShoWTimE needs to be buying enough time. Sitting on this, there's no Warp Prism across the map. His whole army is here. He's got a really nice supply count. A couple of force fields go down, but that doesn't catch too much, unfortunately. Looks like this might fight. I don't know what the Adepts coming in behind this. That's a lot of Adepts, though, in fairness. Picks up the Widow Mines. They're not part of the equation. Adepts do complete their transfer. Focusing down on top of the Liberators. The Stalkers will remove most of them from play, but is there enough left over on the ground? And it's looking like that's not going to be the case here for TANGTANG. He falls back, and the Adept army, while low, doesn't die, so they'll regenerate their shields. And ShoWTimE, calm, cool, and steady, holds that fight.
He doesn't just hold it, he probably just wins the game from it.
Well,
3rd Nexus, bigger army, better upgrades.
So I want to say yes for all of those reasons, but at the same time, we do see him playing back and not exactly moving across the map. And if he gives TANGTANG a ton of time to recover, I'm more thinking about the extra Liberators that are going to be in play, less about the bio or the potential drops.
I'm not so worried about the Liberators, to be honest. They're 2 at a time. Liberators can be scary, but there's a lack of medevacs because he did start going into Liberators instead of a second starports. This is quite unfortunate, although TANGTANG should have enough time to react. These aren't exactly killing the medevac super quickly. There you go.
He was busy running back in the middle of the map. That cost him a fully unloaded medevac, or fully loaded medevac, excuse me.
It's also that it costs him his medevacs.
Yeah,
Like, I just went over, like, he has no medevacs, he has to rebuild them all off of one starport.
And now these guys are trapped.
Oh, feels bad.
I almost,
So,
actually, this is almost worse than losing the medevac full of units, because at least you would have got the supply back then. Right?
This is...
Ah!
Liberators should be very scared. I can see the idea behind TANGTANG's push, but I feel like unless that Woodamine drop from the very beginning did more damage, it just wasn't going to overpower a Protoss who got to 3 bases pretty easily and who knows what he's doing. You know? I don't know how much it works on ladder. And obviously ShoWTimE has actually played against it too.
Just occurred to me, he actually took a third. I just assumed he had transferred over, but the Adepts come in a little bit early, but the Stalkers still blink to the side, take out those Liberators, no problemo. Widowmine catches a reinforcing Phoenix, that's awkward, but the army supply from ShoWTimE is just a little too good. His upgrades are a bit too fantastic, and as I said at the start of this game, TANGTANG was in full all the stops to beat somebody like ShoWTimE, and as we can see, that's not exactly happened here.
Yeah. GG.
Alright, first game of the day, gonna go to ShoWTimE. We also got a resub from Lord Asium for the 11 months. Thank you kindly, sir. And a $5 donation coming in from WowedGM. Says, my mother-in-law fell down a wishing well. I was amazed. I never knew they worked. I never knew they worked. Love you guys. Keep it up.
It's pretty good.
That's such a corny, like... That is such a corny old guy joke, too, right? Like, that's not something you're gonna hear, like, a newlywed husband saying. Like, that's perfect. So shout out to WowedGM. Also, if you're in Twitch chat with us, let me know. Where do I put that $5? Dude, what color hair do we make Zombie Grub? Let us know where the $5 go. Zombie Grub.
What?
We're getting into game 2 of the first cast today. We're barely 20 minutes into the cast, and that prize pulls up to $211.
Pretty impressive.
Gonna screen region this really quick so we can also scroll down and give the VIPs a bit of a shout out before we do these intros, guys. VIPs being the top donors. Messin hit us up with $100 before the show even began. Rose Rideris, Rose Rider US, however you want your name said, $26. Keymag 12 for 6. Dehumanizer 187 for 5. Foonly says, love the whole thing y'all do. Is that Doc Brown? I think that is $5 as well. So thank you guys for helping make the tournament awesome. Just a reminder as well about the prize distribution. It's done percentage based. So top 4 players are going to get paid out a percentage of the overall prize pool. But we got to do these intros. In the top left, he's coming from Korea. He's down 1 in the series currently. It is going to be the blue Terran player, TANGTANG.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE.
So I know you had asked me a while back, and we were kind of talking about like what matchups we're good at now, and like, you know, how do you feel with TvT? And personally in the matchup, I feel like I've gone a full 180 from what I was in Heart of the Swarm. My best matchup now is versus Protoss, without a doubt. My worst matchup now is versus Zerg. And I went from knowing exactly what to do in every TvT to just like 3 Racks Reaper or die trying. Like, I have completely flipped my switch on this game. Amazing.
I agree though, not about the TvT thing, but I got a lot better at TvT than I was in Heart of the Swarm. But I swapped from being really, I guess not like super good versus Zerg, but I actually did have a pretty good run rate. But then being very good versus Protoss. I don't know what it, like, I feel like Protoss, honestly, in the lower leagues, just have maybe the most trouble right now. And this is probably a little bit of bias because I played Protoss and I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'll try and like mimic what I see, of course, but like I don't. So it always feels like it's like this tip-top Protosses are the ones that are able to actually do anything, like, you know,
right,
to actually make me feel pressured as the Terran or to make me feel like I'm being overwhelmed by their gateway counts. As usually I just, you know, they take bad engagements, they get to Liberators and they have no idea, and they don't have Tempest, and my Liberators just win the game. And it's actually become like a really easy matchup.
I feel like when you watch players like ShoWTimE, he's good. You watch players like Neeb, they're great. And you watch the average Protoss, and you're kind of like, where does that fall off come though? Because like everybody goes for similar builds, everybody tries similar tactics. It's just some are really able to execute Warp Prisms and some aren't. I guess, like, I don't know.
I don't know. It is really odd to see, like, just in general, I suppose, even when it comes to pro gamers, some of them just don't get a matchup, right? And you're just like, I don't understand how you can, like, get to, like, you know, like, great TDT and great TVZ, for instance, and then just, you don't know what to do against TVP. Like, same for, like, a Protoss that doesn't understand. Like, the cutoff for where, like, the understanding of a matchup goes in, and how much of it's like just skill and macro, and just how to differentiate between pro gamer and just regular Joe Schmo is. I'm sure if we wanted to study it, we could figure it out. But we're just gonna cast pro gamers, okay?
No, I think it's an interesting dynamic because based off of some of the comments you'll see on Twitter and Reddit, especially about balance, it seems like they don't necessarily understand either. But
I mean, it is funny because it's flip-flopping between like, oh, so overpowered, oh, so underpowered, oh, can't do anything, oh, can do everything.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, TANGTANG goes for a similar drop to the way he did last game. This time it doesn't get shut down as easily. Nice pick up on the win to make sure it doesn't waste itself on Pro. But while this is certainly annoying, we got things like an Observer on the way. I don't think the Marines can out-damage this. It's only 3 of them. The Observer should be able to build at least. Overcharge pack in a pop and kill one of the Marines, so it takes away a lot of this. Apparently, I was right the first time with Rodaris.
Oh, good job. So this is, I feel like it can be the clever option to go in between the bases, but sometimes it also just feels like the last ditch effort because the pylons are covering the mineral lines too well. But, the Observer comes out. It's actually the same deal, even though you're ready to get shut down quite as hard. But the Phoenix is cleaning everything up. The Observer came, and only like a modest amount of damage was done. So it's not really worth TANGTANG because of course he went for a 1 base Widow Mine drop, mind you. So that should really be doing more than 2 probes worth of damage. And he even had to like get a command zone on the high ground because he felt just a little unsafe defending it.
Yeah, actually I didn't quite pick up on that even though we just glanced over it. I feel like the dynamic of a CCB on the high ground versus built on location, like obviously there's a time element to it, but it really, I feel, depending on the flow of the game, like does it say I fill out your third, do you not plan to take a third? Like it may not be as big of an impact, but it certainly shows that TANGTANG was worried about maybe Adepts getting in or something annoying to just pick off that SCV and not wanting to have to deal with it. Now he's got a lot of Marines. He's got Stim and Combat Shields here soon. I guess this is a big difference. He didn't have Combat Shields last time, but he's got units to defend anything. So putting this down on location is not bad. If you wanted to take a third, hell, I'd even argue he could. But again, with 3 barracks, you're going to have to wait and see if he puts down the extra 2 or if we're going to see that CC start.
Yeah, everything is lining up to look exactly like last game.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I want to say like 2 extra barracks, but maybe he'll change his gameplay.
Well, I mean, the fast +1 is one thing. The Combat Shield's in like parallel with the Stim, but no Marauder production. I mean, it's everything here just says I want to get tech up as soon as I can so I can fight as quick as I can. And we've seen pushes that just kind of abruptly end the game. You're like, wow, there's no way that should have worked, but it did. But in this instance, there's going to be 2 pylons for an overcharge. That's a lot of damage. Combined with force fields to lock the units on or out of that ramp, I can't see TANGTANG getting to use this push the way maybe he intended to.
It's pretty amazing how quickly Protoss, by the way, adapted to this map. Like, I feel like I didn't actually even get to see a time before these pylons were put down versus Terran and versus Zerg to cover this ramp, because otherwise I feel like, they would get concaved on, they would just, they would have a tough time. But with the ramp on their side, like, Protoss is not having like an easy time getting a third base, but an easier time once they figured this would be a good position.
Well, not only that, but I mean, even just in context of this game itself, ShoWTimE very quickly threw down those pylons after the Observer saw the army push out. Like, those weren't down from the get-go. He was just ready to play with it. Now, the Observer gets sniped, and he picks up in the medevacs immediately, so the Phoenix is going to come out to look for it. They're going to see this coming.
Yeah.
This could go to the main. I think that's the big thing you're looking for, to see whether this goes to the main or if you defend the third. But even without the overcharge, I mean, Guardian Shield's going to add a ton of defense to this fight. It's like having +2 armor for free.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
plus, yeah, well, yeah. A couple of force fields went down to try and split that army in half. The +1 armor finishes as the engagement really occurs, and TANGTANG is not... He's not surprising anyone. He's not surprising us, and he's not surprising ShoWTimE.
Catches the pylons a little off guard. The army is completely out of position after all. The Phoenixes aren't even there to help deal with it, but... I like this move because splitting up ShoWTimE is probably the only opportunity TANGTANG will have to do damage. I don't think you fight this whole army like head on and win. Guardian Shield aside, +1 armor aside, just the actual bulk of the units might be a bit too much. We'll see. Tries to split the forces, but he's still, in essence, fighting all as one, so this doesn't exactly go as planned. The left side gets massacred, the north side's pushed back. This doesn't bode well for TANGTANG.
No, it does not. That was a very questionable push. I mean, you see a concave, and that always looks tempting, but then you realize how few units you had, and it's just...
Yeah, he never put down those extra 2 barracks or Oh, he did down here. Excuse me.
Well, they're not even thinking of it.
They're not doing
This-
anything. Yeah.
This push feels like it is designed to kill someone who is greedy, who gets a third base in general, but obviously it's not. Like,
Yeah.
ShoWTimE consistently gets these third bases, like, okay, I guess you're gonna give me this, and then saturates them too, and just overwhelms TANGTANG. Like,
Well,
that looked easy.
it certainly was for ShoWTimE, at least. I don't know about most players, but ShoWTimE handled that like a beast. So GG gets called, and he will take the first best of 3 today. Now we got a couple other matches lined up and good to go. We'll let Zymgra pick it because I got to be right back really quick. So we'll go to our first ad break here as well. Prize pull up to $239 as of this report. Shout out to Bad Decaf donating $11 during that game. And we had a resub with Marcos 4912 just resub for 12 months. Thank you so much, sir. But we're going to head to a break, as I said, and we'll see you guys here in 2 minutes.